unleashing raw power. Watch as the mighty stumble. Top 5 UFC fighters sending shockwaves through the bodybuilding world, shattering limits and breaking their bodies. Bodybuilders are known for their impressive physiques, but can they hold their own in a fight against a professional UFC fighter? In this video, we'll take a look at 5 encounters where UFC fighters have proven to destroy bodybuilders. Make sure you watch till the end to experience legendary UFC fighters going head-to-head against bodybuilders. Bodybuilders work tirelessly to sculpt their bodies, perfecting each muscle group to astounding proportions. They truly deserve a lot of credit for their dedication and self-control. Their primary focus, however, is on aesthetic goals rather than combat skills. On the other side of the spectrum, we have the warriors of the UFC. These elite fighters undergo rigorous training regimes, mastering the diverse array of combat techniques. They spend years honing their striking, grappling, and defensive skills, preparing for the intense battles they face inside the octagon. You should know that it's the combination of physical prowess and technical mastery that sets UFC fighters apart. They possess the strength and experience to use their strength effectively in the heat of battle. While bodybuilders may excel in displaying their physiques, they lack the comprehensive skill set necessary for success in the UFC. Now is the time to finally settle the score. Let's take a look at the top 5 epic encounters between UFC fighters and bodybuilders. Number 1. Pedro Saur versus Lance Bachelor. The first fight we're going to look into happened in 1994 between Pedro Saur and Lance Bachelor. Pedro, a veteran UFC fighter, faced Lance, a professional bodybuilder who believed that size and strength alone determined the outcome of a fight and publicly challenged Pedro to a duel. Pedro Saur agreed to the challenge without hesitation. On the D-Day, Pedro wasted no time, surprising Lance with carefully positioned side kicks, effectively distracting him from guarding his upper body once the fight began. This provided Pedro with an excellent opportunity to land a powerful right jab and a left cross to Lance's exposed nose and jaw, leaving him visibly stunned. Lance was unprepared to defend himself against such a skilled attacker. Frustrated, he charged at Pedro, attempting to bring the fight to a halt. As the fight descended to the ground, Pedro, a martial art master, entered his domain. Talk about bringing it home. Pedro's superior skills and technique came into play despite Lance's massive size and weight advantage. His movement was quick, thereby dictating the pace of the fight. Lance's blows were rendered ineffective by Pedro's well-executed martial tactics, which were designed to exhaust and wear down his opponent. Pedro's dominance became more apparent as the fight progressed. Let's see how this exciting battle ended. Lance tapped out and acknowledged Pedro's victory. With the arm locked in perfect position, Lance lost his balance. Pedro showed great mercy by releasing Lance's arm just as it was about to snap. And Pedro Saur destroyed and dealt with the big Lance Bachelor. Number 2. Alan Karayev versus Gary Goodrich. Our second incredible encounter for today takes us back to 2005 to an unforgettable fight between an MMA newcomer and a Canadian legend. Prepare for an adrenaline rush as we recount the battle between the Russian Hammer and Big Daddy. Picture this, the atmosphere is electric at the legendary Saitama Super Arena in Japan. On March 26, 2005, a historic night was made when the Russian weightlifter Alan Karayev steps into the cage for his professional MMA debut. Hailing from the North Ossetia in Russia, Karayev was a great force to be reckoned with, holding numerous arm wrestling and sumo world championships. His opponent was the Canadian powerhouse Gary Big Daddy Goodrich, renowned for his spectacular fights in kickboxing and MMA. Goodrich is a super heavyweight kickboxer and mixed martial arts fighter who was once regarded as a major threat to any fighter in the world. Despite the significant size difference between the fighters, Gary Goodrich took the lead in the fight. He managed to control the distance with a low kick, but Karayev was undeterred and kept moving forward. In no time, the Russian had cornered Big Daddy, seizing the opportunity to knock him out. Once the fight moved to the ground, Kariev unleashed his ground and pound assault on Goodrich in an attempt to gain a better position. He held Gary's left arm in a tight grip, attempting to secure a submission. The resilient Canadian MMA fighter, on the other hand, refused to succumb, biding his time for an escape. Goodrich took advantage of his opponent's error in a brilliant display of skill. Seizing the opportunity, he seized Kariev's arm, effectively turning the tables on the Russian bodybuilder. Goodrich gained top control with a powerful reversal and unleashed a barrage of devastating blows. He then used a forearm choke, leaving Kariev with no way out. The Russian fighter tapped out, giving Gary Goodrich a stunning first-round victory. And there you have it, folks, a battle for the ages. This epic fight demonstrated that a big size did not guarantee victory in the octagon. Number 3, Mariusz Pudzianowski versus Tim Sylvia. The number 3 Destroyers encounter involves Mariusz Pudzianowski, a famous Polish athlete who had won the world's strongest man title 5 times. And he made the decision to enter the MMA cage for the 3rd time in his career on May 21st, 2010. His opponent, Tim Sylvia, was a seasoned UFC fighter with over 30 fights and 25 wins under his belt, including victories over renowned fighters across the world. But this fight was about more than just brute force. Despite his strength, Pudzianowski recognized that he needed more than brute force to conquer the MMA world. While he was one of the strongest people on the planet, he had yet to establish himself in the martial arts. Will his raw strength be enough to overcome the seasoned fighter in his path? Only time would tell. Tim Sylvia, the former UFC champion, wasted no time in asserting his dominance as the evening's main event unfolded. He pushed forward, pushing his opponent up against the fence. The strong man, Pudzianowski, responded by delivering a bone-crushing leg kick. But Tim persisted, refusing to give up. Pudzianowski tried to take him down by using the fence as leverage, but the American warrior quickly regained his footing, demonstrating tenacity in the face of overwhelming strength. The great bodybuilder latched onto Tim Sylvia, refusing to let go like a bear unwilling to release its prey. Sylvia, on the other hand, managed to break free after just over 2 minutes of grappling. It was a watershed moment for the former champion, indicating that he had taken control of the fight. He demonstrated his dominance with precise strikes and taunting remarks, leaving no doubt in the mind of his opponent. The professional strongman began to feel the effects of exertion as the fight progressed, struggling for oxygen. Seeing this weakness, Sylvia took advantage of it, demonstrating that he possessed both power and skill. Pudzianowski, sensing defeat, found himself powerless to alter the fight's course. Sylvia completed a takedown in the final moments of the first round, defining dominance while retaining control until the bell rang. The second round was a carbon copy of the first, with the former champion demonstrating his dominance in every aspect of the fight. After only a minute, the powerlifter stumbled, inviting Sylvia to complete the task. The American fighter forced Pudzianowski to tap out in less than 2 minutes, securing a TKO victory. This epic battle between raw strength and seasoned experience demonstrated the difference between power and skill in the MMA world. It's a battle that will keep you guessing about who will secure victory. Number 4, Ivan Shtirkov versus Yasube Enomoto. Ivan Shtirkov, also known as the Ural Hulk, is a heavily built MMA fighter from Russia. He has made his mark in the world of mixed martial arts with a remarkable professional record of 22 wins and only 2 losses. Shtirkov, who primarily competes in the light heavyweight and heavyweight divisions, found it difficult to cut weight for lower weight classes in December 2019 when he decided to take on a new challenge by dropping to the middleweight division. A picture that surfaced showed the visible strain on Ivan's face, indicating the physical toll of the weight loss. It was obvious that the process was difficult and demanding for him. Ivan Shtirkov made his middleweight debut against Yasube Enomoto of Switzerland, known as the Swiss Samurai, who had previously competed in the welterweight and middleweight divisions. Despite his diminutive stature, Enomoto was hungry for more success. Aside from the weight difference, Enomoto had another significant disadvantage: age. The Swiss fighter was already 37 years old at the time, while Shtirkov at 31 was in his prime. December 14th, 2019, at the Russian Cage Fighting Championship RCC7, the great bodybuilder Shtirkov went on a duel with the skillful and trained fighter Yasube Enomoto. The first round was extremely competitive, with Ivan Shtirkov demonstrating his explosive power early on. Shtirkov's energy began to dwindle rapidly as the fight progressed, and he attempted to take the fight to the ground. Enomoto took advantage of this, landing faster strikes and rocking his exhausted opponent. Ivan's gas tank had been depleted as a result of the arduous weight loss. The Ural Hulk's victory appeared to be slipping away in the second round. Shtirkov, on the other hand, summoned his last reserves of energy, desperate to mount a final storm and finish Enomoto. But the Swiss samurai remained calm and realized victory was within his grasp. After 3 minutes of intense grappling, Enomoto secured Ivan Shtirkov's back and locked him in a tight chokehold and finished the Ural Hulk off, which no one had done before in his professional career.
Очень плохая ситуация для Штыркова, необходимо снять. Все. Сдается Иван.
It's a story of triumph and adversity, showcasing the difficulties bodybuilders face when trying to challenge trained fighters to a fight. Number 5, Misha Cherkanov versus Alexander Emelianenko. And the final belt showdown for today is between two formidable fighters, Misha Cherkanov and Alexander Emelianenko. Alexander, the legendary brother of the last emperor, entered the ring for the second time in his career in November 2019. He'd made his professional boxing debut in 2009 and was eager to make his mark once more. His opponent, Misha Cherkanov, on the other hand, was no stranger to the world of combat sports. Cherkanov was a force to be reckoned with a remarkable MMA record of 28 wins and 7 losses. Alexander, despite being past his prime, cannot be underestimated. The fight would be a true test of skill and willpower. The platform was set for an epic battle between the two well-known Russian athletes. Cherkanov, a powerhouse in power sports, had won 8 national weightlifting championships at 231.5 pounds or more. He was a former Russian record holder in the deadlift and was recognized as an international master of sports in weightlifting. While Emelianenko, a professional MMA fighter who was his opponent, acknowledged his opponent's strength but questioned the efficacy of raw power alone. He believed that true athletes and fighters knew why they were doing what they were doing and had the skills to back it up. During the fight, Emelianenko's skills and prowess overshadowed the strength of the weightlifting champion. He used various martial tactics on Cherkanov and destroyed him to show that a trained fighter can always knock a bodybuilder out, irrespective of their body size and enormous muscle visibility. Finally, these epic battles between top UFC fighters and bodybuilders have demonstrated the undeniable superior of MMA skills over pure size and strength. While bodybuilders excel in their sport, it is UFC fighters' well-rounded training, technique, and adaptability that allow them to dominate inside the octagon. While we admire bodybuilders' dedication and physique, it is UFC fighters who have the tricks to destroy their muscle-bound opponents. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. Don't forget to check out our next video on 10 most intimidating fighters in MMA history, as we look forward to bringing you more exciting MMA content in the future. If you liked this video, drop a comment, like, share, or subscribe to our channel to watch more interesting videos.